Hello, I'm Jeremy, and welcome back to Jeremy U's Music Reviews. I listen to music, and you hear my thoughts. So you're probably wondering who Raleigh Ritchie is. Well, Raleigh Ritchie is the pseudonym of Jacob Anderson. If that name sounds familiar, that's because Jacob is most known for playing Grey Worm on the popular HBO series Game of Thrones, a show which I have never seen. Why am I talking about him if I've never seen Game of Thrones? Well, because I heard Ritchie's second studio album, Andy, and it's an experience. So let's dive into the world of Andy. This cover is really good. Not only does it capture your attention through its simplicity and uniqueness, as well as how the album name and artist name are on the side like the spine of a book, but the image does a good job of letting you know what you're in for. It's a boy, presumably Ritchie when he was younger, crying. But the tear is pink and looks cartoonish when compared to the realistic looking boy. This is a very subtle but effective way of communicating to the listener that this will be a sad album, but it won't be like other sad albums you've heard before. Good stuff.
I keep thinking I'm in a rush. Maybe I've been thinking too much.
Andy starts off decently with the first song, Pressure. The song has an ambient, sinister vibe to it, reminding me of Space Ghost Coast to Coast from Dreamland. And there's also some classical music elements that help make the song sound even more beautiful. Ritchie also sounds really good. His soft and sad voice combined with his accent makes the lyrics hit you really hard. And speaking of which, the lyrics. I personally think these lyrics are alright. They're really relatable, communicating how Ritchie is under pressure from life to be as happy as possible, but in reality, he's not really doing well. I've never experienced toxic positivity, mainly because I'm naturally positive, but I do recognize that it faces a lot of people. And if you're facing toxic positivity, check out this song, because it really does communicate how it feels to constantly be told to be happy. Also, I love the way Ritchie says go-getter. It's really nice sounding and makes the song pop out. So yeah, while definitely not the best song on the album, Pressure is a decent opener that's relatable, sounds really cool, and really hits you hard. A definite thumbs up.
I just want time in a tree. I need a place just for me, somewhere that I can be free. Keep the faith and just be.
I adore Time in a Tree. It's the song that got me to check out Andy, and it's one of the most beautiful things to ever exist. Not just songs, things. Let's start with the production, and wow, is it heavenly. Similar to how the production for Good Life by One Republic makes me feel like I'm swimming in ocean waves, the production for Time in a Tree makes me feel like I'm drifting off in the vacuum of space. It is so beautiful and relaxing, while still fitting with the song's tone. On top of that, the chorus is amazing. Not just for its lyrical content, but for the vocals. It has this warbled vintage sound to it that makes Time in a Tree sound even more beautiful than it already is. But it's Ritchie who brings it all together. While there are various examples in this album where his soft and beautiful voice gives the song pathos, Time in a Tree is where he absolutely perfects that. You can hear how sad he is as he's singing these gut-wrenching lyrics. And as the song goes on, he sounds more and more desperate, clinging to his confusing life, begging for an answer. And as someone who's transitioning from high school life to adult life, the lyrics about the hardships and struggles of dealing with said transition are painfully relatable. And don't even get me started on the music video. This music video is incredibly creative and littered with all sorts of symbolism. And the ending always hits me right in the feels. So yeah, Time in a Tree is, without a doubt, the best song on this album. It's beautiful, lovely, poignant, relatable, and it's just an all-around masterpiece. And it's not even from 2020. It's like a single from 2018 that was just ramshackled onto this album. In fact, I love Time in a Tree so much, I put a link to the music video for it in the description. Check it out because it is so freaking amazing.
I don't even know if I know my own mind. I don't even know if I'm on my own time. I don't even know if I know what's right for me.
Aristocrats is my second favorite song on Andy, behind Time in a Tree. Let's start with the production, which is really cool. It's incredibly relaxing, but has a bit of edge to it, making you feel uneasy in a good way when you listen to it. Ritchie also sounds beautiful. His voice is so soft and soothing, which is a fantastic contrast to the incredibly off-kilter and uneasy production. And these lyrics are absolutely brilliant. They're really detailed, well-written, and do a good job of showing Ritchie's emotions. Aristocrats is a very compelling piece of music that feels like a mental breakdown in song form. It really shows Ritchie's penchant for making beautifully made, odd songs that communicate a lot of emotion. A definite album highlight.
I don't want to be here. I wish I could disappear. Dig a hole and climb it too.
Party Fear is a very cool song. The production is relaxing and atmospheric, Ritchie sounds beautiful, the lyrics are deep and fascinating, and the entire song is an incredibly fascinating vibe. Party Fear does a good job detailing the fears we have when we're at a party and forced to socialize. And while I am a very sociable person, I still get kind of nervous when I talk to people I don't know, so I relate to Party Fear. I also love that bit at the end where the melody changes. It's very cool and makes the song even better than it already is. If you feel scared whenever you go to a party, this song is for you. And if not, listen to Party Fear anyway because it sounds absolutely incredible. Another album highlight.
Can't pretend I won't lose my head again. No, I can't pretend I won't lose my head again.
Worries is really good. The production is phenomenal with wonderful sounding saxophones, fun clapping, and awesome trap skitters. Ritchie also sounds great, as his voice is incredibly soulful and works beautifully off the production. And God, is that bridge amazing. It's so soft and ethereal. And the lyrics? Really good. They're not the best lyrics of the album, but the lyrics to Worry do a good job of showing Ritchie's mental struggle. Worries is another one of those songs, but sounds happy, but is actually depressing, beautifully contrasting Ritchie's sad vocals and lyrics with the fun and boisterous production. Whether you want to think or dance, Worries is for you.
Smiley, happy, clappy, ugly people. Some may call it necessary evil.
STFU is one of the weaker tracks on Andy, but it's still decent. The production is a little plodding, but Ritchie sounds great as usual. Elsa E. Elmar sounds really good, and the lyrics are really good as well. They're really analytical and fascinating, once again doing a good job of showing Ritchie's mental state. I especially like the rap bridge. It's really cool and reminds me of the rap verse at the end of Choker. And the ending is very pretty and soft. The overall problem with STFU is that the production is just horrendously mixed. With a little better mixing, STFU could have been one of the best tracks on Andy. But as is, STFU is a messy song that shows a little bit of potential. Far from the best, but still worth checking out.
I couldn't find the words, but I just waste them anyway. I just go on overload and I can't catch up with my brain.
I have mixed feelings on 27 Club. On the one hand, the production is really cool and creative, Ritchie sounds beautiful, and for the most part, the lyrics are really deep and interesting. But on the other hand, I really don't like how this song advocates dying at 27. For those who don't know, the 27 Club is a list of musicians who died at 27, at the age of 27. And Ritchie keeps saying he regretted never joining the 27 Club. Even if this is ironic, it makes the song feel way too uncomfortable. Most of the songs on Andy manage to make you feel sad without going too overboard, but 27 Club pushes the bar a little too far. So while it's fine from a production and vocal perspective, the message really makes me hard to list 27 Club as good. Sorry, Ritchie. I'm just a sad boy. Despite the kinda cringy title, Sadboi is a fantastic song. The production is really relaxing and futuristic. Ritchie sounds beautiful. The audio video is trippy and cool, feeling like something from Monty Python, and I love the chorus. That weird robotic voice is just so creative and interesting, making a great song even better. Also, that bridge is so beautiful. The lyrics are really deep and interesting. This part is cool. And the song is also really catchy. Sadboi is just a really catchy, poignant, creative vibe. I kinda wish it wasn't called Sadboi, but hey, a song this good can be called whatever it wants to be called.
I never ask for easy love, but you didn't need to make it hard.
Shadow is a really good song. The production has a fun carnival-like vibe, feeling like what the production for STFU was going for. It's very enjoyable, atmospheric, and immersive. Ritchie is also amazing. His voice is beautiful, and like most of the other songs on Andy, the way he shows emotion is utter brilliance. The amount of emotion Ritchie puts in the song gives Time in a Tree a run for its money. And the lyrics? Fantastic. These lyrics are incredibly interesting and introspective, brilliantly showing the dark sides of a toxic friendship, especially accentuated by the metaphor of a shadow. It's really creative and works well with the song. And like the songs in Olivia Rodrigo's Sour, Shadow does a good job of showing what being in a toxic friendship is like to someone like me who's never experienced a toxic friendship. Shadow is just a really interesting, deep song with creative production in a sea of interesting, deep songs with creative production. Another album highlight, especially if you've dealt with a toxic friendship before.
I need structure, more instruction, so I don't run to self-destruction.
Structure is absolutely amazing. The production is stripped back, leaving room for Ritchie to emote, and God can that man emote. His voice is so soft, panicked, calm, and sad, resulting in a burst of feelings going through the listener's brain. The lyrics are also fantastic, brilliantly detailing Andy's struggles and his need of structure in his life. God, I can relate. And the ending, where there's swooning strings, gives the song a satisfying closure. Structure is just a brilliantly stripped back emotional powerhouse, fantastically demonstrating Ritchie's potential as an artist. Please check it out.
Let's be squares in a round world. Let's be squares in a round world, baby. Let's be squares in a round world.
Squares is really good. The production is grand and majestic while still having the creativity that other songs on Andy have. Ritchie sounds beautiful as usual, and the lyrics are phenomenal. Let's Be Squares in a Round World is an incredibly clever lyric, a clever subversion on the being crazy in a world full of normals mentality. And the other lyrics are also sweet, detailing how Ritchie feels about this woman in a sweet way that also feels desperate and vulnerable. And God, is that ending beautiful. Every time I hear it, I get the urge to cry. Squares is just an incredibly emotional, enjoyably unique song that's yet another album highlight. Please check it out.
Little me, let me tell you, kid, who you gonna be. When you turn the lights out, you won't be scared anymore.
And so we say goodbye to Andy's world with the 12th and final song, Big and Scared. And God, is it a great way to end the album. It's essentially Ritchie talking to himself as a young child. Not only is that a great premise and a good premise to end the album on, but it's also great as a song. The production has a carnival-like vibe that's executed beautifully. Ritchie sounds beautiful, and the lyrics are incredibly detailed and unique. Not since A Message to Myself by Easy Life have I heard a song this personal and emotional addressed to the artist's younger self. Big and Scared is a song that basically tells Ritchie's younger self the world is gonna suck, but you can get through it. It's a beautiful mix of optimism and pessimism in a phenomenal way to end one of the most interesting albums I've ever heard in my life. Andy is an incredibly fascinating album. Similar to how Sour felt like a dive into the mind of a teenage girl, Andy feels like a dive into the mind of a man going through a mental breakdown. Each song represents a specific thing that people struggle with, like trying to be happy, toxic relationships, and growing up too fast. Brilliantly ending with a song telling your younger self the world sucks, but you can get through it. There truly is no album like Andy. Like Sour, it's not perfect, but it's not meant to be. It's an incredibly bizarre, fascinating experience that I could not recommend more. I really hope Jacob Anderson keeps making music because he has a great talent and potential to make a ton of really good songs. But until he makes something new, check out Andy. And that's it. Comment your thoughts on Andy below and tune in for more content coming soon. Ciao!
Brief.